October 18th, 10 a.m. District Court, room number 4. I never really checked. Do they always do it in the same room? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Why must the prosecution always go first? Am I not good enough? Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 in the afternoon, or 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 for Global Studios. What is even the motive for this killing? It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I mean, just like it did last case we took? Edgeworth? I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Hello, sir. Detective, if you would, briefly describe this case to the court. What about name and occupation? Yes, sir. I will explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. Honestly, this is the most information that I've seen Gumshoe correctly retain. This is the main gate of the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. Studio 1 and Studio 2. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. 2 different sentences? Where the body was found does not equal the scene of the murder. Objection. Can you confirm he was killed there? I mean, I got no evidence to say otherwise. Now on that day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, the defendant, and the security lady. But that's not true, actually. The, what's-her-face? The assistant. That's 4 people, that's already a contradiction. The victim, Jack Hammer. The defendant, Will Powers. And a young woman, the production assistant. Damn it. Well, no. Proof. It's the security lady. It's still 4. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Okay. So noon is prior to the... That can't be, because noon is 12 directly. The security lady got there at 1. The security lady was also there present for the run-throughs. So, am I just not knowing what noon is? Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m, the security lady got to the guard station. Okay, fair enough. So it's now 4 people, fair enough. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The production staff came to the Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. So, the body was found at 5, which there's still 2.5 hours of the body not being found. The time of death was around, 2 hours and 30 minutes prior. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. Didn't Phoenix already point out the fact that there was no blood? Was there blood on the weapon as well? I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty big hole in the chest though. That's the case in brief. Now can you give it in much more detail, please? Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? No. It seems like he's covered it. I think I can probably remember that. The murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Yeah, okay. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security at the guard station see? She saw the costume. But did she see the person is a different question entirely. Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Hello. Will the witness declare her name? Ooh, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Seems like someone's got a fan. Oh, dearie. No need to be so embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their name. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So, okay. Okay. Objection. I need to object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection to stand. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. I mean, but was it relevant to the conversation at hand, I guess? Because, you talk too much. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. Or was it like yes, I don't know why, but okay. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. Are you flirting with everyone? I'm glad it's not me. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Okay. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 PM. Poor old Hammer and the rest has been doing a run-through ever since the morning. I had some errands to run in that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 PM, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right past me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was headed towards the studio. You saw the defendant then, Very well. Let's begin with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Okay, press everything. So up until that time, anyone who wanted could go into the studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard on the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee keycard to get in. Right. That card key that I have, that I borrowed, in quotation marks. So, what she's saying is that no one who isn't supposed to be in there could get in. Was there anyone at the studio who, when you arrived at the guard station? For Old Hammer and the rest of the... Okay. I mean, I don't know why I'm reading it twice. A run-through? They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the evil magistrate. They got the basics figured out by noon and were used to the afternoon for practice. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're to use the afternoon. Okay. Such formal wording. Rehearsal was supposed to be started at 5 o'clock. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. I mean, he still went there 3 hours early. Right? Yeah. Powers was in his dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing. Talk about laid-back hero. If there was a run-through in the morning, why did you only get there in the afternoon? Okay. I do find it interesting how they phrase things, you know, to like run it back into the witness in the testimony. What kind of errands? Oh well, you know. Answer the question. Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers. Observing, you know. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job. I'm not sure your boss would see it that way. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years. I mean, I don't know, I feel like, because calling them run-throughs is like interesting phrasing when he got ran through with a spear. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too. Oh, I want to. Could you quit being a spirit? You could quit being a spirit medium and take up god duty. Not a bad idea. Anyway, did you see the victim then? Did I see poor old Hammer then? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Tell us what happened next. Okay. So you were watching the whole time? No breaks? Not even a second? Of course. I'm a professional, you know. Or are you criticizing how I do my job, Whippersnapper? I mean, she could have went to the bathroom. We don't know that, to be fair. You're not unprofessional for needing to go to the restroom. No, it's just, after seeing you eating those donuts in the guard station yesterday, I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. Snipper wapper. Old Windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection? So the witness was on guard duty through the afternoon, the whole time, very well. What did you see? How do you know that? Oh ho ho, I have my ways. That overly dressed young detective told me. I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, the detective isn't cut out for his job. I don't want to be rude to Gumshoe, but she's not wrong. She certainly isn't wrong. Poor Detective Gumshoe getting ratted out by a security guard. Okay. 2 o'clock? You sure? Sure as spit. Well, who was that man, really? You should try not to get too excited at your age. Might strain something. Is that flooding? No, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you just who it was. It was Powers, the man right there, heading towards the studio. So you saw Mr. Powers? That's what I said. Get the wax out of your ears. Get the wax out of your ears, Sonny. If this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. I'll say it again. It was him. It was Powers, the man right there. Yeah. Anyway, Moonbag's loves a gossip about other people's misfortunes. Can't you get her nicked somewhere else? Or kicks? Okay, so yeah, it's the last one with the photo, right? I don't know. So yeah, but the fact that... So it's a matter of just who was wearing the costume, right? Yeah, E%. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag? You're saying since yesterday you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. I mean, again, look, the pants look like they're a bit too big for them. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can clearly see that's Powers, right? No, it is quite literally the opposite. You can see that it could be anyone except Powers because the costume doesn't fit. No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai, but that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I mean, that brief moment of shock. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. We know that. We can physically see it. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss Witness. Having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. I mean, it would be hypocritical, I guess. However, you don't have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. Okay. That shocks even Edgeworth is surprised. Yeah, everyone says. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good evidence, pal. This isn't any good as... Yeah, see, even the detective was right. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. Oh, is it saying that the proof itself, that the photo thing isn't any good? I feel sorry for Gumshoe. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. This morning during the run-through, that morning, completely different days, the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the poles, it was a big mess, okay. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. And can't you see he's dragging his leg? See? Clear as day. You can also see a perfectly working stick, aka spear. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? But he's not dragging it, it's just because it doesn't fit. So, he had a sprained ankle. Or he sprained his ankle. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. I don't think she's hiding anything. I think she's just stupid. I'm sorry to tell you this, Phoenix. Okay. Whippersnapper. Hey, I haven't even said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. True, you're doing it publicly in a court of law. Everything I said is on a straight and narrow. Be up and up. Youth today. Always... Okay, never mind. Mr. Wright, please for all of our sakes, try not to upset the witness. Fair enough, actually. I think Edgeworth has met his match. Yeah. Who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers. He's the Steel Samurai. The poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate. You've always called Hammer poor. And me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing? Just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such. So she didn't see the run-through then. Okay. Trip and fall. You see, the brief moment the text wasn't in the way, the tip of the spear, it snapped off, right? Yes. And to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. The good old medicine. Works every time. As you can see, Hammer didn't get a kiss to make it better. Now he's dead. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. So, she's innocent, then, because she couldn't have faked the injury. You may continue your testimony. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. He broke a prop? He sure did. His own samurai spear. The thing that was... is that what the tape is, actually? Never mind, I guess that proves me wrong. His samurai spear, the murder weapon? Luckily, I was there to duct tape it and fix it. This strikes me as significant detail. I better write this down on the court record. Okay. Hold on. That does have duct tape in it. Never mind. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot, okay. I think we've had enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there's one thing that bothers me. Which is? Where is the steel samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. Well, I mean, the judge says it is, so I'm sorry to tell you this, Edgeworth, but you're wrong. I lied. Of course I'm happy to tell you that you're wrong. The witness did see the steel samurai, yes? And it's clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. Not really. I suppose that's right. Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Ooh, am I able to save? Always save when I get this option. Okay. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. Actually, I think I'll wait and see where this goes. I suppose since there wasn't any additional crew members at the studios that day, it'd be quite likely that the defendant was inside the costume. I see no problem with this evidence. Most perceptive, Your Honor. He still doesn't seem that convinced to me, I hope. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. Well, we did need to ask twice. That we're giving two sets of testimonies. Okay, continued. The time of Hammer's death was, okay, 2 p.m., true. The only person I saw in the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did. Mr. Wright, you may... Okay, it's very quick. Okay. How do you know that? Didn't I just explain? I gave the donut to the young detective, and then, after some rubbish about it being a secret pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts. The only person I saw that... Okay. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking. Right. That implies that someone did pass through, but they didn't look suspicious. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1 AM? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then, and I locked the main gate and no one could get in. Not to mention... Are you sure? The witnesses answered this question. Anyone going from the studio who had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy. It seems like he's got the same reaction to the name. Old Windbag sure has balls. Well, you know what I mean. Well, if you're exploring that kind of thing, Maya, it's up to you. Old Windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. Is that just studio before then? Powers? No one else went there? I would have seen them. He's dragging one leg. Is it... no one else went there. Is it thingy? Because it's number 2. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sorry, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right. Anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Noted on the back that the photo is printed with the words, photograph 02. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. On October 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is a bit at the end where it says, photo 2. Photo 2? The computer only held data for one photo on the day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo 1 if it was really the only photo? Order. Order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. The evidence shows that not one, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet, there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access to the security lady herself. Huh? Me? Watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. All the same person went by twice. Because, like, I'm assuming if you go in, they would also catch you going out, right? Well, yes, that's what it would seem to be. Or seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these new fangled computer things. Edgy boy, help. Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Ulbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai. Oh, well, yes, I suppose I could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please? For the 3rd time. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one important job to do. I go through the photos and photos recorded on the security camera to check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Ulbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Edgeworth, you've chosen the worst person as a witness. And we had Red, White of Blue Corp as a witness. How could you have done this, Edgeworth? Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a term for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Okay. And now we press everything. And that being another job. That's right. I check all the people that passed by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos that security camera takes. Do you back up all your security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating. Okay. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Well, you can tell by looking at their faces. For the most part. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Ulbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Okay, why wasn't it suspicious? Well, who the heck was in the photo that you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. To get information about rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one else could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there was a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain. Well, so there was an extra person at the crime scene. There was also Penny was also it's Penny, right? The assistant. She said there was a presence at the rehearsal. I told you that they were freaks. Oh, and the kids, children, whippersnappers. Okay, so may not have done. Well, actually, they may have done the murder because they may have been like, "Oh, you're the bad guy of the show. I will help the Steel Samurai." And so maybe kids. So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. Okay, that's still another person in a murder trial. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked about to be in the 2nd or 3rd grade. Yes. Well, we'll see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in the 2nd or 3rd grade, I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Dunno. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Have you picked it up yourself? Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there, if that makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I wanted the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. Well, I mean... Okay, so that all took 1 hour and 8 minutes. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in the dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go out to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. Who was the Steel Samurai in the security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was on the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a samurai costume. So, where's the sleeping? It does not good. I mean, I disagree. The fact that, obviously, well, true, another child, it was a child that involved, we still can't, it doesn't mean he's innocent. And he wouldn't have an alibi. Okay. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick, what are we gonna do? First, we're gonna play it for more time. We'll start by targeting someone else that could conveniently have done this. Oh, is that conveniently or conceivably? And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get them the day. Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. I mean, if the victim went to the studio, shouldn't there be a 3rd picture? Why isn't there a 3rd picture? Because apparently 3 people went to the studio. The fanboy, the defendant, and the victim. 2 pictures. We'll have to see if he's actually an option to pass the blame on to. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Just right where you will present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter. The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The only other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo Yeah, the photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. That's who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not take kindly to accusing the innocent. That's the only thing this court has done. They accused Larry, innocent. They accused Maya, innocent. They accused Phoenix himself, innocent. It's not looking good for you, Judge. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough as is. Now, who's the person that Mr. Powers could have... this isn't go the... Okay. I'm definitely saving... Okay. She isn't in any of the photos. So, security lady. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about that injury. The security lady Oldbag. What? Whipsnapper? I didn't actually think about the injury, to be fair. Order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped into the Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would you go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera that at the gate would take a picture. If she was in the costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. Sherlock Holmes 2. That's odd. Isn't this the part where the prosecution, where Edgeworth answers? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection with some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? So you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there. Do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take, I want to save, but I keep saving. I've used up all my spaces. Oh, how to do it? Okay. I'm gonna press further, because I think if we loosen up, he's calling a bluff. So if we press further, he'll have to do anything. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something that is so horrible to poor Hammond? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Oh, it's definitely gonna be hard feelings. Anytime we accuse someone, they do not care for us. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? The boy's not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it Is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders, Day? Whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. Then let's see the proof, Mr. Wright. Do you have proof that shows the boy could not have committed the murder? The car key, because he didn't have one.
Take that!
The scene of the murder was, as we all know, Studio 1. However, you need a car key to enter the studio. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a keycard? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag. The windbag, speechless. This is gotta be the first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings for the current trial for today. Miss Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name? Wendy. Something old bag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. She's probably gritting her teeth so... Oh, wait a second. I'm not going to sit here and just, while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this about? Have you omitted something in your from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told him not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about this. There was some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Oh, were they really? That's just glorious information. They said that they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't seen me at the studios that day. But if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. So you're taking them down with you. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep it from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? Because, she didn't want to go down alone, so she's taking the studio with her. I mean, that seems fairly, yeah, everyone's got a motive at that point. It's because, either way, she's losing her job. Either she's found guilty, sent off to jail, or she's found innocent, but spilled the beans. So, it's kind of like a lose-lose situation, but at least it's lose-lose on her own terms if she takes them out. So, yeah, no, I'm on her side with this one. They told me to shut up. They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. It took you 3 attempts to get your name. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay. Okay, why? Okay. So you were told not to talk. That's right. By the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less. Why didn't I hear about this? Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. Some other people. Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their actions without action scenes without a director? Yeah, fair enough, actually, yeah. Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So, where were these people? Honestly, fair enough. I feel like that's on me as well. The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after all. Where? Oh, in Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2. Yes, have you not looked at the map at all? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and there you have, all the way to the left. The path of the monkey's head had fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue with the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... Yeah, why not? Cool. This old bag. This is a trial for murder. I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about not having anything to do with it. And they give me a little bonus on the side. They bribed you? So you got a bonus and you still talked. They bribed you. I think I've asked all my questions. Is there anything else? I guess no, I want to get as much info as I can. Oh, is that all of it? Hadn't seen, 2 more. Okay, so 2 more. So they actually, so they were actually in the studio. Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I'll kill this woman, I swear it. Then you'll be under my protection. Well, actually you wouldn't, because you're guilty. I feel sorry for Edgeworth, almost. She really left him hanging out in this one. Them? Who are these people? Oh, the director and the prosecutor, for starters. Oh, have I had this one? No, we've had this one. No! Where the monkey's head's fallen. I would like to continue. Alright. There we go. Got 3. Is this the same thing again? Okay, I guess we're done then. Apparently. Cool. Guide map, monkey head. Yes, Judge. Take a break. Your Honor, we've learned there were others at Global Studios on the day of the question. The director and prosecutor. I'm getting too ahead of myself now. Slow down. The director and the prosecutor, and some bigwigs were all present. Yet as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldberg, and more information about these other people we've just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. The sense of the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is to be adjourned. Cool. Lobby 3, weren't we in courtroom 4? Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Oh really? It's nothing. Or should I... We'll be going down to the studios to do more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and prosecutor. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that steel samurai costume? Could it really have been the old windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Well, I mean, it's kind of you. She accused you, but you're defending her. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I mean... I suppose she'd be too loud to murder anyone. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit and take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old windbag. I kind of feel sorry for her. You do? I don't. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there. With or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studio. To defeat the Huns? Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys. To be continued.